Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the 10 Minute Mailbag, the MLB The Show 24 series that seeks to answer your questions and actually provide valuable answers. So thank you guys for being here for another week. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's get into it. The 10 Minute Mailbag this week has 3 questions being featured, all from the Discord, and I don't know if I need to apologize in advance for this, but it may come across a little bit ranty at times. I am recording this part prior to actually answering the questions, but I already kind of know the direction I'm going. So, listen, we're all in a place where we're all a little frustrated with the game. I will continue to call out the positive and negative of whatever happens in the game, and I'm going to try to have a refreshed positive perspective. But sometimes we just got to go on little tangents, and we might do that in this video. So as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe if you are new here. We are literally a couple clicks away from 4,000 YouTube subscribers, which is wild. And most importantly, comment your questions for next week down below. You can also leave them in the Discord. The link to that is down below. Okie dokie then, it is time for business. I'm going to start the clock right now. It's in my lap. That's why I just looked down. So 3, 2, 1. And here we go. Our first question comes from Scott. Saw someone else suggested on Twitter, but should SDS recode the 99 Willie Mays card to be a core card for the rest of the year? Let people freely use him without need of wildcarding him. No. They should not core it, because that would just kind of ruin the way the game is fundamentally structured. However, they did not do enough to honor Willie Mays. And I want to say this first. I don't mean the storyline was not a great idea. The storyline on Willie Mays, which I've yet to complete, but it was a nice surprise that they included it. People who worked on that were very proud of it. And I'm sure that's phenomenal. Now, that was in the cards before Willie Mays passed. It's not like they just turned that around in a day or 2 days. What I'm getting at with all of this is that, sure, releasing this 85 Willie Mays and then supercharging it to a 93 for a week was, I guess, their way of honoring Willie Mays by making this card 8 points better. It underscores the entire problem with, and this is, I do not mean to just be regurgitating Chev's rant from Twitter, but I wholeheartedly agree with it. It doesn't seem like the connection between storylines and Diamond Dynasty works. I think storylines should just exist on its own. And maybe the reward is like stubs and XP, because these 85 overall Negro Leagues cards don't do a thing for anybody. No one uses these cards. I guess technically you now would maybe use the Supercharged 93 for a week. But like Chev said, again, I don't mean to just be stealing his thunder. I'm giving him credit here. The first cards we started out with Diamond Dynasty this year were 89s, and these are 4 points worse. So what they could have done was, yes, release this storyline, but also maybe like a headliner Willie Mays, a free pack in the shop that was like a 94 or 95 overall Willie Mays, like a usable, good Willie Mays, that if you did not get the chance to use the 99 last year, you can get a free one that you can put into your lineup. That would have been the correct way to honor Willie Mays. Whether or not the card would have been good or not, different conversation. But if you made him a 95 for free, not a soul would complain that the card existed. It would be a valuable card at this point in the power creep, because for some reason the Season 2 power creep is slower than molasses. I feel like no teams are improving. And it's just a weird conversation right now between storylines, which is cool and great, and really well done. It just doesn't mesh with Diamond Dynasty. And I don't think it should. I don't think there's a need for it to be like that. So, I don't think the 99 should have just magically become core, because then it becomes even more of a problem for people who did not earn the 99 Willie Mays the first time through. They are now at even more of a disadvantage, which is not their fault, because it was so difficult to attain those collection and XP cards at the end of last season. But you release a free 95 in the shop, everybody's happy, and here we are. So, that's my stance on Willie Mays. Rest in peace, Willie Mays. The storyline, like I said, I didn't complete it yet, I heard it was incredibly well done. I'm confident it was incredibly well done. It was it was tied to Rickwood Fields, the game. It was just unfortunate that Willie Mays passed at the same time. So it ended up being like a very strange coincidence that both happened at once. A free 95 in the shop can't be hard to put together. Like, it literally could be the easiest thing on earth. That's what they should have done. So thank you, Scott. Next question comes from Logan in the Discord. I liked how the seasons worked last year. Do you think this game would have been better with how they did it? So you could use the previous season's cards in the current season. Sorry, I had to read that in my head a little bit. So here's the thing, right? Everyone complained last year about sets and seasons because they didn't like how so much overlap caused no teams to ever change. Like, there was no differentiation. Everybody just kept running the same cards over and over and over and over and over again. And now this year people are complaining because the power creep is so gosh dang slow that everybody is taking forever to get good teams. So what this tells me, and Logan, this is not a shot at you by any stretch, because I feel the community's pulse of just wanting something to change for the better. I think last season has proved, and this season has proved, or last year has proved and this year has proved, that we just can't have sets and seasons or sets or anything like it ever again. It was a shot. I respect the huevos, I guess to say, to take a shot. Like, it was never guaranteed to work. It was a lot different than what a lot of Ultimate Team modes do. And I was like, you know what? Respect the effort. I enjoy out-of-the-box thinking. This was out-of-the-box thinking. It just never hit. Whether it was not executed correctly is one conversation, or whether it's just prone to never work within a sports game. That's out of anybody's control. That's just how it would be. I just don't think sets and seasons can work, and that's kind of ultimately where I'm at. I initially really wanted sets and seasons to work because I liked the potential. Just ain't happening. So, Logan, that's kind of where I stand. I hope something changes in 25. We can't do this again. We can't do this again. Like, it's toxic for the player base because it's not good. So, thank you for your question. Lastly, and kind of on this same topic from our guy Sportsball, what was the flashpoint for you when you realized the ship was sinking regarding MLB The Show's ideology shift? Ship was sinking is like, it's an incredibly negative turn of phrase. And yeah, things are going the wrong direction. I hesitate to like go that extreme in terms of my phrasing. But what I will say, we all started to see some signs last year with sets and seasons where there were more packs, or there was this happening, or there was that happening. And I think we were all just like, oh, maybe that's just how they want sets and seasons to work. Like, maybe that is a way of curbing this or preventing that. And I think that's why, even though we noticed it and spoke a little bit about it last year, we were a little more naive, maybe is the right way to say it, or we were a little more hopeful that it was just strategy versus money-making, right? Because those are different things. And then this year, I mean, it took us all but, 2 or 3 weeks to realize that all they're going to do is pack us to death? Pack after pack after pack after pack. Codename pack. Random pack. Random. With an old card series. With nothing attached to it. No program, no codename event. Like, there is nothing attached to it. They're just dropping a 40K pack. Thankfully, every single card, for the most part, Charlie Morton's okay, but like every single card in this pack is ass. So thankfully, there is no reason to purchase it. The season awards being entirely packs. That was my moment where I was like, oh, this game is different. Because last year, even amid some small changes, you could still get all your Topps Now cards for free from the monthly awards program every week. You could get, every card coming out, you could attain it for free, at least within that vacuum, within that segment of content. Now, You want the best season awards card that came out the other day? This Carlos Correa. I know he's never seen a righty before in terms of power. This Carlos Correa ain't bad. By any stretch. You want this card? That'll be 83,000 stubs, please. Oh, yeah. And there's nowhere to get stubs in the game. So, it was a combination of the season awards thing drastically changing for me, added on to the fact that they are just randomly dropping random-ass choice packs for 40,000 stubs that you cannot earn virtually anywhere else. And when you can earn it anywhere else, it's 5 weeks after it came out. So all the prices are already tanked, and the cards' overalls are phased out. So for me, that's where I am. That's where I sit. I don't love it. I don't like it. But that's unfortunately what this game is right now. And I don't think it's tied to seasons. I just think that's the direction MLB The Show is going now. And I also, call it a conspiracy theory, call it a shot in the dark, call it a guess. I don't think anybody on the MLB The Show development team has made this decision themselves. I think Mr. Sony and his guys in suits, they're the ones who decided this. Video game companies are hemorrhaging money. Sony's video game department, hemorrhaging money. They see how much money likely EA makes through microtransactions with FIFA and Madden. 2K probably makes money in microtransactions too. I just don't know how much. They're like, wow, we could probably be milking our consumer base more. That's what I think it is. Full stop. So unfortunately, that's just where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's 10-minute mailbag. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Make sure you leave your questions, leave your thoughts on anything we just talked about. Let's have conversations like we always do. Love you guys. See you next time.